حركات وكده.
تحفة. It's really cool.
You're all حركات. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. And we got Ola.
Yep.
We should have more people, Mr. Samir Amara and Mustafa Yusuf. They should
And
be
Dr. Reda Al-Akhdar is here too. I can see her name.
Interesting.
Yep.
I'm just looking at the names just to ensure if we have more speakers in the room. So all are, there is Selma as well. Selma to be one of the speakers as well. We're starting exactly in, let's say, 3 to 4 minutes, just to ensure everyone is admitted to our main room. Ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, we got like, can we have all the speakers on the screen, video, audio? So we need Mr. Samir Amara, Mustafa Yusuf, and
Mustafa.
Salma Al-Fay. Mustafa is unable to unmute himself. Can we possibly help Mustafa Yusuf?
Thank you, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Wonderful to hear from you.
How are you?
Hi, Mustafa.
See you all. Long time no see, all.
Mr. Samir, Salma, you're unmuted now. I think so you can try your mics.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello,
everyone. Hope you are always very well.
Hello, Mr. Samir. Wonderful to have you at long last. Last time I saw you was back in March.
Ola, you're unmuted now. You're ready.
Thank you.
Amazing that we can meet.
Good to see you.
Hi, Ola. Nice to see you too.
Seeing you too as well. Hi, Samir.
Hi, how are you?
ازيك عامل ايه?
You look great.
You look great. You all look great, guys.
And you too, you look great.
Mustafa Yusuf, you look different.
Okay.
What happened? That's a brand new look. I'm not used to that kind of look.
Oh yes, it's a mix of quarantine look and the new daddy look.
Oh my
congratulations!
God. Oh, that
Thank
was
you
months
so much.
ago.
Yes,
that was
congratulations.
9 months ago.
9 months ago, and this is the end result. Oh my God.
This is the COVID-19 look.
I'm afraid it's just the beginning.
Oh.
Okay. So I think we can start now, can't we, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah. Reda would like to join us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She's one of the presenters, right?
Reda.
Al-Akhdar,
hey, we can see you now.
Of course. Hi, Reda. Glad you made it. So,
hello everyone. ايه الاخبار؟
Hi.
Hi, Reda.
ايه كله تمام؟
كله تمام.
تمام. انت تمام؟
It seems like Amira Irfan is like an alias here. Amireta.
Yeah.
That's Amira Irfan. Amirieta. I wouldn't have known. Hi, Amira. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. A real pleasure and honor here to have our third coffee night with, you know, that big table, okay, in a coffee shop, maybe a fancy restaurant, with all friends and colleagues you may think of. What a dream come true. All at one table all together. I'm really, you know, pleased that you could afford that much time to join us today. I've had amazing responses from, you know, various, you know, I would say various interests, various, okay, kind of like backgrounds. I think tonight is going to be one of those very special nights. We're going to hear from our dear speakers here. We got, you know, star speakers, star guest speakers, and we got two up-and-coming speakers, young speakers, one of which is Salma Tariq. There is Abir. There is Abir. I'm not sure if Abir is in the room or not. Abir Rifat. So Ayet should have a look here and tell us about that. So let me just quickly introduce everyone, and Ayet, I would really be grateful if you appear on camera too. Will you?
Hello.
Hello
Yeah.
there.
Hi.
Ayet Al-Tawil, my long, lifelong friend and colleague, I would say in arms, okay? Sister in arms, okay? Ever since we started doing virtual training, virtual learning and teaching activities, professional development. I'm so grateful that you can join me today.
Thank you.
Doing all the kind of support. Without you, really, things are not the same. So thank you for being there.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Hannah, for inviting me. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and honor to be with such lovely people here. Thank you.
Yeah, really lovely indeed. Where should I start? Maybe left to right. The first one who popped into the room is my dear friend, Heba Abdelghalil, Dr. Heba Abdelghalil. She is now representing Capital Professional Development, CPD, a play on continuous professional development. Am I right?
Right. You can take it. You can take it whichever way you like, right? So you can take it as capital as investment, capital as a human capital, capital is the new capital.
Capital Cairo.
Capital Cairo. You can take it in whichever way you prefer.
She's going to tell us a little bit more about herself, her selected excerpt and book. She has something really interesting to share with us today. Right on my, thank you, my dear. On my right-hand side, another, sister in arms, back in time. I think we started knowing each other 92. So ever since, Dr. Dina Das, a very good friend and colleague, very supportive, very caring.
You're the best friend ever.
Tremendously. We do miss her tremendously. She's been in Saudi for some time now. Luckily,
and unable even to go to Egypt in summer because of COVID-19.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. But I think now we've had a compromise. We've managed to connect, and sort of collaborate together, even that geographically we have so many miles, separating us, but still we can meet. Thank you very much, Dina, for all the amazing work.
Thank you for the invitation, Hannah. Thank you so much.
And again, we're going to listen to something very interesting from Dina today, a quote that, according to what she said, has really touched her heart and made a strong impact on her vision about various things professionally and personally. Back to my left-hand side, I got one naughty guest speaker here. Yeah, Miss Aola Abulaiz. She's always naughty. You never, really know what she's up to. Yeah, and today,
I agree.
Yeah. Today she's got this little surprise here. She's going to share with us. She's going to tell us here about something that's really impacted her life and made some difference here, sharing her. Ola can surprise you here. She's so funny, she's so interesting, and so deep as well. So we're going to delve into the depth of Ola Abulaiz today. Next to Ola, right in the middle, a friend and colleague here, very young indeed, Mustafa Yusuf, fresh grad. Well, compared to when I graduated, ya Mustafa, I graduated in 96, and
it's all relative.
It's all relative. When did you graduate, ya Mustafa? Malish?
2011.
Oh my God! Okay.
You see
You're
now
a fresh
the kind of shocking.
It's almost
okay,
10 years.
Even fresher than even fresher than you can think, Yani.
You see, so that's the first time we met, and he tells me I'm a graduate of 2011, and I was like, excuse me, and but he is
where shall I go?
Yeah, but he's really again surprising, and he again is so much into reading, quite an avid reader. He's so much into literature. Just go over some of his writings, and you will be I would say, you will be amazed by the style. He's got such a style when he does a bit of writing here, so poetic in a way. So share with us something real deep today. Salma, you're saying something about where shall I go? When did you graduate?
Yeah, 2017. Oh my God.
That would be your last time with us here. 2017.
I said that.
We're all senior now. Here we have a room full of seniors. So that's not where you belong.
Come on.
Guys, you don't belong here.
Okay.
Okay. We have to admit.
Feeling left out.
Never mind.
In age, seniors, the seniority is not in the age bracket.
Come on.
This is expert. You're the expert. You're the expert level. Two more speakers we got today. Mr. Samir Amara, a real friend and supportive colleague, and our president-elect in NileTESOL, Mr. Samir. I've known him now for something like 2 to 3 years now, through the board, through the training sessions. He was one of the very early presenters, the very first, event that I ever sort of conducted or organized in Sadat City. Remember that, in Munufaya. He was one of the very early, I would say, presenters who came by and gave such a wonderful presentation. We're so happy to have you today. Last but not least, dear friend and colleague, Gheda Al-Akhdar again. She was one of the very supportive people here of NileTESOL PD committee. We shared, one of those, that was, remember, that was in, Hurghada, the Hurghada event. That was the very early one. And then later on, we collaborated in Minya and so many other things. Do we have any further speakers that I did not introduce? Ayet, could you kindly be there on screen?
Yeah.
Are you gone? Or
I'm here. No, I'm here. I'm just leaving the videos for our speakers. I think Gheda left. She had an issue. So.
Tech problem. It's all right for now, just if it goes. So here are the rules. Would you like to share the rules, Ayet? I shared them with you earlier. How are we going to manage the session today?
Yeah, so our speakers, every one of our speakers, presenters today is going to share his book excerpt in 5 minutes. Okay, and then we'll have our audience. If you have any questions for our speakers or presenters while they are speaking, you can post them in the chat. We'll make sure to address them at the right time. Okay?
That's right. So we will be sharing the questions and comments in the chat box. We're going to open the floor for our audience later on to interact with our speakers via audio. All right. So I think we're ready. So our first on the list is by order of alphabet, is Ms. Dina or Dr. Dina Das from, All Lab, Applied Linguistics Lab, and Prince Sultan University in Saudi Arabia, originally from Alexandria University, Arab Academy in Alexandria, and a dear friend of mine. The floor is yours, my dear.
Hi, Hannah. Thank you very much for the introduction. And thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you for this amazing activity. I just love, we really need such an activity, especially at this time that we're all going through you mix wisdom with a cup of coffee. That's what we need, I guess. Okay, so actually the quote I'm sharing today is a quote not from a book, but from a commencement speech that I watched by chance on YouTube. And it was a commencement speech for the American University in Cairo, spring 2017. The graduate was Ali Asim Shaltut. He's just finished his BA. And this tells us how much age doesn't matter, how much fame doesn't matter. I mean, quotes can come from the youngest, right? And quotes of wisdom can come from the youngest, and we always learn, and we always learn from our students, right? So he said a sentence in the middle of the speech, and for me, that was an inspiring quote. What he said is, if life is a race, it is not a marathon. It is our best lap time race. Well, let me first explain what he meant by life is not a race, but a marathon. It's not a marathon, it's a race. It's our best lap time race in his own words. And then I will say how this influenced me. In his own words, he explained that in the commencement speech by saying, our lives are full of laps. Every challenge we face is a lap. And then every time we have the choice to either race or chill out. We can wait for the next lap. Every time we choose to race, we can experience something new. If we continue to treat life as if it's a marathon, we will never chill. We will instead race each and every single lap. We will face every single challenge. But then we wouldn't be able to differentiate between the good laps and the bad ones. We will not have time to prepare for the most important laps. Accordingly, we will never win the race, as life is not about winning the whole race. It's just about winning a few laps. Actually, for me, this was a very inspiring quote because, yes, it was for me, it was eye-opener. The ones who know me, I'm kind of workaholic. I mean, I work so hard. I work so hard all the time, all the time, all the time. So it's, and then all of a sudden, no, I mean, yes, life is not a marathon, it's a race, and there are laps. And actually, if you keep racing all the laps, number one, you are missing the good ones. And number one, you are wasting number two, you're wasting your energy over laps that either don't really suit you, don't really match your abilities, don't really fit what you want to do, you know. So maybe it is wise to just relax, chill out, and miss a few laps. And this is like, for example, sometimes I'm sure we've all gone through this. I mean, you're offered a position at work, for example, and everybody says, wow, Dina, this is a position you should never miss. But for you, you know, it's not you. It's not your abilities. It's not your ambition. It doesn't meet your needs. You will not achieve what you really want. It's not fulfilling for you. So it's very hard to say no. But this quote, you know, says, no, say no, be confident. And if you don't say no, then when you get the right thing, you will not be able to say yes to the right thing. So of course, it's not easy. And I think to miss a few laps needs a lot of courage, not only because you are doing something against what everybody else is doing, but because even you yourself, I'm sure you have some doubt inside whether will the other good lap come, you know, or will I just be waiting for Godot end of the day? So it just needs courage. It needs faith in God, and it needs faith in yourself that no, I will get the lap that will be right for me. And so now I can relax. It's okay to relax and enjoy other things in life than just, you know, getting every lap. And I remember in the commencement speech, that graduate said that every commencement speech has a deep motivational message. So he said, I will not leave this commencement speech without a deep motivational message myself. So what he said is, he looked very seriously at the class of graduates, and he told them, class of 2017, my deep motivational message to you is just chill. And yes, just chill. I guess that's the quote.
Yeah. Thank you, Gina. Thank you for sharing that. It's very touching indeed.
Yes.
I've been wanting to use that expression, just chill, with so many people who try to get me into like submitting work and stuff. Okay, I need that chill. Okay, we all need a little bit of chill out here.
Yes.
So
yes.
yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, workaholics really are sufferers. Okay. And I wonder if there are some comments from the audience or maybe some questions. Ayet, feel free to share any of these if you feel there was something in particular.
Yeah, sure, I will. Okay.
How do you feel about it personally, Ayet?
Yeah, it's so touching. It's what we're living every day, what we go through, really. Like, and this is how we need to live life. It's like, I would say it in a different way. Live life and take it as it is. Don't take it as a marathon. Don't like, yeah, this is what we, and especially workaholics, as you said, Hana, Hamis, it's difficult, as Dina said, to do so. Like some people, it's very difficult for them to accept the fact that they need to say no sometimes. It's really important to say no when you need to say no, or when you don't have to do that, so that you can say yes, as you said, Dina, at the right time. Yes, definitely. And I hope that we can do this, because it's difficult. It's still difficult. At moments, you cannot really take that decision and do it, yeah. But it was so inspiring. Thank you so much. That was a great start. Thank you, Dina.
Thank you, dear.
And here Nasreen and Nisr is saying, yeah, this is so inspiring. I think here Hiba Abdelil is saying, well, she loves that, just chill. Yeah. Reda Al-Adl says again, lovely. So basically everyone is saying, thank you, Dina, for sharing with us this beautiful quote and inspiring indeed. Thank you very much. I was wondering if Hiba Abdelil is ready to jump in now. Are you? Yeah? Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Perfect. Hi. Is it possible that I share a screen? Can you help me with that, please? I still can't share, so.
It is working on it.
Okay.
I think we need to make you a co-host.
Yes,
co-host, yeah.
Hannah, you just make her a co-host, because that's not.
So now you can do that.
Yep.
There we go. Excellent. Okay. Super. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So thank you, Hannah, Ayet, and NileTESOL for the lovely invitation. And thank you, Dina, for the beautiful quote. And I think I'm going to build on what you just said. This book is called 7 Practices of a Mindful Leader. And I came across the book last year. So it's quite a new book. And when I started to read the book, my intention was to know more about leadership. But then I found this quote, and I think that this quote is all about life, not just leadership. It could be applicable to basically anything in life: work, family, colleagues, anything. So before I share the quote with you, I made a little chart that has the 7 practices of a mindful leader. The first 2 are self-explanatory. So if you want to be a successful leader, teacher, educator, mother, you need to love what you do it. And then you need to realize that you don't have to be an expert in life. Just let go of things that you don't know, which probably would make you feel a little bit more comfortable with yourself, and would also make you feel entitled to surround yourself with people who you can trust. And then the fourth point is connect to your own pain, understand what hurts you, listen to your soul, and listen to your mind. So if there is something that is hurtful, just don't sweep it under the carpet. Face it, know it, Avoid it if you can. And if you cannot avoid, then stand up and face it properly with people you trust. Which leads to the following point: connect to the pain of others. So if you know that someone is suffering from a certain problem, a certain disease, make sure that you connect with others because you depend on them. Remember when we talked about a minute ago, not being an expert and surrounding yourself with people you trust. Those people are suffering just like you, just like now, all of us are suffering during the COVID. So understand and be empathetic. And the sixth point is depend on others. Make sure that you are surrounded with team players, family members, friends who you can really, really trust and depend on, because you do not need to be an expert in life, and because you don't have to do everything all by yourself. And as Dina mentioned in her quote, if you're a workaholic and you like to do each and everything, you feel like you're burnt out after a few years. But if you know who to depend on, then that would save you a lot of energy and a lot of focus. And the seventh point is the most important. It's very simply to keep making your life simpler. And the quote I chose is about this point. So I want to read the quote. And then maybe I will reflect on it if we have time. So the quote goes as follows. The intention of the seventh practice is to see or recognize the most important thing in any given moment, even in the midst of our busy lives. We can't avoid challenges or problems or grief or death, but when we feel confused and overwhelmed, we can remember, keep making it simpler and simpler still. Each moment and each day, keep making life less complicated. So we are more focused, spacious, and present. So we prioritize the most important action to take. So basically, what he's trying to say is, make room in your mind for more important things, but by making your life simple. Just don't complicate matters. Don't focus on unnecessary details. Do not think that you're larger than life. Accept the fact that you're human and that you cannot do everything by yourself, and that you make mistakes, and that you cannot live all by yourself. Accept the fact that you have your own weaknesses. Even if you think you're strong, you still have some weaknesses, and you still to make friends with these weaknesses. And I think as an educator, a teacher, a woman, it's very important to realize that it's okay to be a little bit weak. And you don't have to be strong all the time. Just accept it. And surround yourself with people who really love you and care about you and are loyal, and you can just depend on. Very simply, make your life easier, simpler, enjoy the little things in life, don't complicate matters. And as Dina mentioned, just chill. You will win in the end. That's it. Thank you, honey. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Heba. Well, as everyone is saying here, so profound, so beautiful. I would ask Ayet to sort of like, you can end sharing if possible.
I did.
Yeah, thank you, my dear. That was real profound. I just read that as one of those comments here coming from, Iman El-Bahir says profound.
Thank you.
And
thank you, Iman.
Yes, beautiful from Reda Al-Akhdar, of course.
Thank you, Reda.
What would you like to say, Ayet?
Sorry, I was just unmuting all. Okay. I wrote, make friends with your weaknesses. I think that's very important for us as teachers, educators, and human beings, that we all have our own weaknesses, and we need to make friends with it. And the key word here is acceptance. And I think accept it. And this is also what we said with Dina's quote as well. So the key here in those two quotes, and maybe for other quotes as well, is to accept these facts. Accept it. Accept that we do have weaknesses. Make friends with them and accept them. And so that was really good. Yeah, very, very inspiring as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Samir Amwara says something about, yes, accept your weakness. You don't do or know everything. Yeah.
Thank
Simply
you, Mr.
true.
Samir.
Ola would like to say something, please.
I can't see the raise the hand feature, but I'm sorry if I interrupted. I really like the idea of connecting to your pain and connect to the pain of others. I guess that we have to make sure that we were able to accept, and we cannot avoid the challenges of the pain we have. So it's easier than challenging the pain is to accept it and deal with it and go with the flow. At some point in my life, I did not accept the challenge of the pain. But I went.
But you managed.
Yes, you did.
My dear naughty presenter. Remember, you're such a naughty presenter. Do not forget that.
Yes.
And you promised me the dance, remember? So keep that in mind. Do not spoil that. Have a dance.
Can I
guess,
okay.
It doesn't stop at you accepting something, but at also inspiring others. And I think like Ola is one of the people who has inspired all of us, or many of us, those who know her. So it doesn't stop at you, but it goes to all people around you as well. And I have known Ola for a short time, but I have known her like by my heart. I have seen her by my heart, and she's an inspiration.
Yeah, she's an exceptional person. Do I have a minute? Oh, so Hane is like, me too. Can I just add one thing? Right. So in this book, which is basically about leadership, the author talks about two things that we as human beings concentrate on. One of them is productivity, the end result. And when you lead a team, you want to get the end result in the best way possible. So you want perfection. And the other thing is mindfulness and being empathetic. And when you lead a group of people, like a group of children, for instance, if you're a primary teacher, you would concentrate more on mindfulness than productivity. And it's the other way around, or it changes, it shifts as we grow older, or as the age of the team, you know, as people grow older, we concentrate more on productivity and less on mindfulness. And this has proven to be not very effective. If you are human, we all are, and you live amongst human beings like we all do, you need to keep the two pillars in mind. You cannot, by any means, achieve what you want to achieve if you're not mindful. If you do not understand your own self and you do not connect with others, you will not get the results that you want to achieve. I rest my case. Thank you, Hani.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Heba. That was real, you know, heart-rending, touching, everything you can think of. And I do not want to just linger on, because it can really, I mean, if I just ask, for example, Ayat, about how many times we've been there, okay, we might have another case here. So let it go.
Okay, I'll excuse myself because I'm still in the office and I have to run back home. It was lovely to be with you. I'll try to log in as I'm driving back. So sorry about that.
That would be
Thank you.
No problem.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
We were really honored.
The honor and pleasure are all mine. Thank you. See you in a bit.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so let's check people in the room here. And again, by alphabetical order, we have Reda. Reda should, I mean, I wonder if Reda is ready and whether the tech is fine with her. Reda, can you possibly start? You're muted, my dear.
Hello, everyone.
You. Yeah, now we
Hello,
can
everyone. Yes,
hello, dear.
I mean, I'm happy to. I'm happy to see you all, and maybe it's like a long time I haven't seen many of you. Like, I would like to congratulate you, of course, Hannah, for this event, and thank you for always bringing us to the coffee table. It's always very enjoyable. I love the company, and I would like to thank Mustafa Yusuf. He's an old colleague that we haven't met for years, and also for Ayat Tawil, which is a lifelong friend as well. So I'm really happy to see you all. And of course, I wouldn't speak of Heba and Aula and very, very nice people all around. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm happy to have my speech again. So it's like I wasn't able to just like welcome everyone at the beginning. So the book that I'm referring to is the 5 a.m. Club. I don't know if like it looks like this. Okay. The book goes by Robin Sharma, and what is very interesting about this book is that it is under the Stephen Covey, the self-help book, like develop the habits of the super producers, the big leaders in the world, and stuff like this. But actually, you sit down and read the book, you'll find that it has a lot of the ancient philosophy. I don't know if it's inspired by Indian wisdom. I don't know if I can see some Aristotelian ideas around, but the book actually is worthwhile. The writer, who is like, he was previously a lawyer, and then he would speak about creating an empire of positivity, mindfulness, forgiveness, enjoying the simple and beautiful things in life, which is definitely against everything New Yorkers who buy the book actually would agree to. And some of the nice things, I don't think that the book itself, it's constructed around the story. It's very simplistic, if you ask me, as people of literature, Yani. But actually, what I think the real value goes with what the conversation says, because it taps on wisdom everywhere. So the point here is, he says there are 5 assets of genius. I'm referring to this quote. You are mental focus, you are physical energy, and you are personal willpower, your talent, and daily time. These are what a person is. Could you see? So what they're referring to here is like, it reminds us of the carpe diem, the ancient Greek idea of day-to-day life, in order to have mindfulness, in order to feel everything. And the other thing that he's referring to is talent, the importance of talent and character, which is very much Aristotelian. So if you want to grow, be happy, and a good person, morally correct, you have to be a talented person. You invest in your talent and you enjoy it. And that makes you a kind and good person, a wise person as well. And I would say that's the mission of life. It gives an all-encompassing sense of feeling and meaning, okay? So mental focus, this is Marcus Aurelius. I mean, it's just like it's reminiscent of all these ideas. When Marcus Aurelius would speak of leaves running the street, mute. Okay, so you are mental focus. That's Marcus Aurelius. It's reminiscent of the idea of leaves streaming the river. And then you just like take one leaf and look at it. And this is how you get to see the tree. You don't get to follow all the leaves flowing. And then your physical energy is the idea of limitations. So we do have limited resources. We respect that, accept that, and then embrace life. Personal willpower, it's the sense of focus. He is always speaking about in this book. He says that so many people have to get a life, but 5% will be the leaders, the super productive people, the super rich people, whatever. And this is how he gets to promote the book. And I think the baggage of philosophy that he's promoting as well. And then original talent and daily time. So it's the consistent investment in talent every day in a daily time. And he just like gives 60 minutes. If you use 60 minutes for 90 days, that makes you a talented person. This is the formula that Robin Sharma puts forward. The book actually is very light-hearted to read. It's beautiful, especially the ending sections of it. It's really well weaved around. So I do recommend the book, and I love the unpacking of ideas that it has. So, thank you so much. So that would be
Thank you very much for that. All right, I think now that was surprising to know. Reda told me that you're the same cohort.
Yeah, we
and
are.
that was surprising me. I think
Yes.
you'll be the best here to make comments and interview her if you wish.
Yeah, but yeah, that was, yes, we're the same cohort, yes, and we haven't seen each other, we haven't been in touch for years. And until, yes, again, I think like through NileTESOL, we found each other, but then
but we planned to do something together, remember?
We met in NileTESOL again, so that was great, yes. And I love that Reda takes things so deep, like as she loved the unpacking of the ideas from the book, this is what she does. She takes one very deep idea and she starts to unpack it and make it simpler to the audience or to whoever listens to it. So if we started with at the beginning and we said that people need to accept their weaknesses, but now we're saying invest in your talents. So now we're kind of making the balance. We do have our weaknesses that we need to accept them, but we also have talents that we need to invest in them. And it doesn't like cost that much. If we just spend a few hours on it, then we're investing on it really. So yeah, and it's inspiring, always inspiring to listen to you, Reda. So proud of you.
We all are indeed. We all are, Reda. Someone was asking about the name of the book. Title here is 5 a.m. Club. Am I right? Yes, Reda. So I just typed it in.
Yes, it's the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. He has multiple publications. Yeah.
Does it have any significance being at 5 a.m.?
Sorry, Reda. Yeah. Mustafa was saying something. Yes.
Yeah, does it have any significance being at 5 a.m.? Because it's too early.
He believes only 5% of the world population will be able to get up in the morning, work out, meditate, and invest in their talent. If they start off the day as being happy by 7 a.m., they're going to be super producers. This is what he believes. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a lot of groups of the 5 a.m. club. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful notice, observation by Mustafa. I have Mariam here.
Excuse me. Who is saying hi? Who is saying hi? Okay. Somebody is saying hi. Is that someone we know? Or is that someone disrupting the session?
No. I think someone at Reda's, yes.
Oh, Reda. Okay, somebody can pop up. Can I say hi? Yeah. Up. Okay, or down. Anyways, I may disagree really. What I'm trying to say here, yeah, somebody is saying, Wale Aizat says, dawn time, burika li ummati fi bukuriha, which is real deep, of course.
Right.
But I have a little reservation here. Okay, I'm not a 5 a.m. club person.
Oh,
and this is really, it hurts me. It cuts deep. So, I mean, am I out of the formula here? I don't stand a chance in the world or what? It hurts.
You've always been an exception, Hannah, so don't worry.
Not really.
Are you a morning person or a night person?
Night owl. So, I mean, am I totally out of it? So it's like, I don't have a chance.
Can I say something?
Please.
Salma, yes.
I have the same thing. So I've been there and I read a lot about it. And I realized that there is a theory that not everybody can, or not everybody has to sleep like 8 or 10 hours, because I found out that I don't sleep more than 4 hours sometimes, or most of my life. Then I searched and I found that it is normal from 4 to 6 hours at my age is not a huge difference, or for adults normally. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry about the age thingy.
Senior, yeah, senior.
Yeah,
Okay, senior citizen.
it's normal that adult people do not sleep so much, and some people are actually more active at night. So that's just, it is just when they breathe and they produce stuff, and that's how it works. And I apply it on myself. It's better to write. It's better to research, and whatever I want to do, it's better at night when everybody's asleep. The important thing is I have a to-do list and I fulfill it. That's what I think about. Thank you.
It depends when you function.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's exactly it. Okay. It seems like we're running out of time and we have to run through our turns here. So allow us to just keep the discussions till the very end for now. So how do we go about that? We have Mustafa, Ola, and Mr. Samir. So who goes first? It's Mustafa, right? Mustafa, M, and then Ola, and then S, Mr. Samir. All right.
Okay. Would you please allow me to share screen? Okay. So, does it show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it
Okay.
does.
So the book is called The Prophet, and it's by a Lebanese American author, very well known. It's called Khalil Gibran. And let me very quickly just say something about the background of the book, just to put you in context. The book is from an allegorical genre, allegorical, which means it teaches us about morals, about ethics, and how should people live. So it doesn't really have a plot of a novel or of an ordinary fiction book. The story is very simple. It's about a fictional prophet. Doesn't really have any reference towards any certain prophet, but it's about like a fictional prophet who is trying to tell people or talk to them about ethics, manners, and different topics, different life issues like crime and punishment, pain, love, children, marriage, death, children, everything. And the excerpt I'm going to read is from chapter which he talks about the children. And let me just, okay. So yes, so that's part of the book, and he's talking to people about children. He's like sharing his thoughts about how should we bring up children. So, and the woman who held the baby against her bosom said, "Speak to us about children." And he said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls. Their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday." And I'm going to stop here. And let me go back. Okay, so yeah, what I'm going to talk about is I've just thought of, because I'm like a new daddy, and my daughter is just 9 months old. So I was always thinking of how can I bring her up, in which way, and I'm always having that kind of dichotomy or dilemma of, should I be that super duper daddy cool, or the kind of traditional big mustache father with a smoking pipe. So here comes the idea of the children. How should we deal with the children? And just putting the idea into context and what we live nowadays, of course, you have seen like lots of controversial issues and topics that spreads all over Facebook and social media and everywhere over the last couple of weeks. And I'm just trying to reflect as a teacher, as an ELT teacher, we always try to reflect on what happened and how can we improve for things in the future. And I'm trying to reflect on my childhood and what kind of upbringing I received and what should I do with my child. And here comes the idea of maybe nowadays we have lots of challenges, notorious challenges everywhere, lots of controversial ideas that did not really surface in the past. And again, I'm not sure, I'm just trying to improvise, like maybe 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have all of those challenges. Life wasn't really hard in this way. From one point of view, life was hard. Like when your parents and grandparents always tell you that we used to live in hardships and things were difficult. We used to survive war. We used to survive lots of issues, and life wasn't really easy. Maybe today we have lots of technology. We have lots of empowerment. And maybe I'm thinking of, yes, maybe nowadays we have got lots of opportunities. We've got technology everywhere. We can reach out for more people. But what we have right now, the question is it just for empowerment? Like if you think of technology and social media and all of that life and that virtual life, does it really empowering, or does it make us much more vulnerable than the past? And maybe if they did not, like in the past, if they did not have that kind of opportunities we live nowadays, and life was maybe harder in a way, but what I'm sure of that nowadays we have got lots of challenges that did not really live. And I'm thinking of the question is, how should I bring up my daughter? And should I just give her like feed her mind in a way of giving her ideas and putting her in a way that I should bring her up in a certain way, which I think is the correct way. And here comes the idea of what's correct, what's right. Many people would say it's subjective. Many people would say what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. But again, it's subjective. In my point of view, there is nothing really objective in life. Everything is subjective. We don't get our ideas in vacuum. Ideas beget ideas, and ideas grow. So I'm not sure if what I live or what I think is correct, or what's wrong is wrong. But what I'm trying to say is, let me here use a bit of a jargon from the ELT field. Like when we write a lesson plan and we try to plan very well for our lesson, which is going to happen. And we try to write a lesson plan, or we try to structure it in a way because we need to expect what's going to happen, maybe face potential problems, maybe solve the problems that might occur. And what if I'm going to have like a daughter plan or a child plan? Do we think nowadays of thinking of our children as a product? Maybe I don't really, maybe I'm just trying to use the word the product as a simple word, but maybe some people would disagree, maybe thinking of objectifying the thing. But what I mean is, if you think of your children as something that you add to the humanity, as something that you add to the world, and how much do you invest in that? How much input you feed into it? And how would you like your child to become like a product? Because she's a baby, and I'm just saying maybe before being 18 years old, she's young, and that's why she being not adult, I would again relate it here to a true beginner learner in English. You can't really have a beginner and let him be autonomous. Because if someone's learning the alphabet, he doesn't really have the keys to explore and to get to see the world. So maybe at a certain time, like maybe for beginners, we need to feed them some basics, some principles, and then at a later stage they can become autonomous on their own. And I'm thinking of like that kind of early childhood, and she is like a blank hardware, which her parents supposedly, my wife and I'm going to write things into that hardware and add some files. So I'm thinking of maybe I wouldn't really impose some certain ideas, but what I would like to do is, or the conclusion that I've arrived to is, I need to give her like a manual which is not to follow, like not in the sense of instructions, fixed instructions to follow, but something like devices, instruments to be able to self-assess for yourself what's right and what's wrong, being able to criticize. And here comes the idea of lots of people are saying, again, on those controversial, I'm trying to be as politically correct as possible. Look, all of these controversial ideas, some people are saying, should we accept them? Should we ignore them? Do they really exist or not? Or should we just turn a blind eye to them? And I would say, maybe in my own point of view, or what I do is just being active civil. And acting civil here doesn't necessarily mean accepting things. And maybe accept here, even the word accept, if you accept the other, maybe it just has two different points of views. Okay, so yeah, just in conclusion, I would say act civil, get exposed to different ideas, but accept ideas as they exist. That doesn't mean incorporating those ideas yourself. Everyone has his own individualistic personality, his own set of beliefs, his own set of everything. You just need to act civil, recognize that maybe not everything in the world you are going to love, but that does not really mean that you buy those ideas in.
Thank you very much, Mustafa. That was pretty deep. I'll have to take it offline in order to discuss it in detail, really, because you've opened up too many cans of worms for the time being. I cannot deal with that now. Let us all welcome one guest and star speaker, Mariam Rayan. She's been struggling with tech for the past hour, and I'm glad she made it. Yeah. Right on time. Okay, that's your turn. So Mariam, then Ola, then Mr. Samir, or Mariam. Yeah, okay, so let's go this way. OPQRS. Okay, so O first.
Right.
So we got it. So Mariam, please, let's start.
I guess you need to unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes.
Right
Hi.
now, yes.
Sorry, I was late. I had the tech issues and I was outside, just came home. So I've been following this whole thing. Very interesting quotes, I have to say. And again, it's good to see all of you here. Hi, Mustafa. Hi, Ola.
Hello.
And Dina, oh my God. I mean, in years, Dina. Seriously, I miss you so much. And of course, Hana Khamis, I mean, thank you for creating this event. And for everybody else, of course, Ghada and all, and Salma and Ayat and everyone, hi. Sorry again, better. Okay, so, all right. So when I read the announcement on the pages Hana was sharing, and I was thinking of something that is inspirational, and I told her I was really very inspired by the last lecture that was given by the professor, you know, who gave this speech. His name was Randy Poach, and he kind of you know, shared his thoughts about how he could achieve his childhood, because he had cancer and he knew he was about to die. So it was very inspirational. So it wasn't a book really, it's just a lecture, but that was later turned into a book. And Hana said, you know, it's fun to give us you know, from the talk and not necessarily from the book. So I will not mention everything that he mentioned in his last lecture. I will just focus maybe on 2 points. And I wish we had just to play the video, but so I'll just summarize. I think one very additional thing that he talked about was the importance of people versus things. And he gave an example of got tenure at the university, and he the 2 things that he did. One is that he invited his whole team of assistants, and he took them, I don't know, to Disneyland or something on his nickel. And he said, people said to him, "You're crazy. I mean, this must have cost you a fortune." And he said, "Well, they all helped me with my project, and they all helped me to get university. So, and I have the best job in the world. So how can I not do that?" So he said, people are important. And I think the second thing he mentioned was an example when he got himself a brand new car, very expensive. And then he went to pick up his niece and nephew for the weekend. And his sister, their mom, was like always telling them, you know, cautioning them, be careful, this is a brand new car, we don't want to get dirty and stuff. And he said, the first thing I did was I opened the can of soda and I just poured it down on the back seat, just trying to tell the kids, it's no big deal. I mean, it's a car, but it's still a thing. And he said he was happy that he's done that because his nephew had a cold. And on the way back home, the boys sort of vomited all over the car. But then he said, he did not feel at all embarrassed or uncomfortable because of what I did. So I don't want the child to feel upset because of thing, because a car is still a thing. So I honestly believe in that, and I feel like very, very important that we focus on people and not on things. And I think I caught Hiba mentioned earlier about being mindful and so on. Hi, Samir. It's so good to see you. I think it's also related to this idea of being a great leader, whoever you are, in which position, where you are, what kind of team you're working with. I think what really matters is that you care about the people in the team and not really about things. So yeah, that was very important. So yeah, just a thought, you know, if you are put in any situation where you have to compare or you have to prioritize between, and thing here can be anything. It can be a task, it can be a position, be a job, it can be anything. And then you have people that you work with. I think people should come first. I think that's my point. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I was like really touched yesterday that you chose that particular book. You know what happened to me really? What I did was I came across it and I read it. And I thought it was fiction.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just thinking of it. It's like somebody telling a story, all right? I had no idea it was nonfiction, a biographical account of someone. Till the very end, the last chapter of it, and I turned, okay, that book cover, and I realized this is Randy Pouch. This is a real person, a real scientist. And he went through this, that, and the other. And there's that video lecture that goes with that book. And I went online and watched the lecture. And I simply broke into tears. I could really relate to it, every single part of it. I didn't really go through his each and every moment of suffering necessarily, but I had my own. Point is, I just loved his sense of positivity at any moment. I mean, it's all about childhood, just, you know, holding on to your childhood and the idea of his parents raising him to be a happy child, that he cherishes the idea of being a happy child and ensuring this is the thing that he holds on to and wants to sort of pass on to his children, that unfortunately won't be able to see him when they grow up. But he had to put that down in a book. So when they grow up, they're able to read that and watch the video. It was so inspiring.
He said in the video that many people are now watching the lecture, and he's been invited to so many places, to the Oprah Winfrey show, even the last lecture. And then he said, you know, although so many people, millions of people are now reading my book and watching my lecture, I actually was thinking of 3 people, and these are his 3 kids. I mean, this is his main audience, and it's really very moving, really very moving. And I feel it on a very human level, like you do, Hannah. And I feel it like in these difficult times, we need to be reminded of the basics, really, because sometimes
we forget about that. If we can just get the lecture URL, I can share it now. But I'm trying to just run through if you can paste it
on the chat.
Please put it on the chat. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you, Helen.
Now time for our debut appearance here. Miss Sola Abulez. Ready?
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Well, thank you all for the very positive and very inspiring talks. That is really good. And I noticed that without that being planned or without not knowing what we're going to talk about tonight, I think that there is a point of connection between all what we're saying, what you were saying, and what is to be said in a few minutes. And that is focusing on positivity and knowing oneself and others more. Well, tonight I'm sharing this very lovely book of John Gray, Why Mars and Venus Collide. And for you, those who don't know John Gray, he is an American relationship counselor, lecturer, and author. And he's the author of the phenomenal Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. The 4th chapter here in that book talks about a woman's never-ending to-do list. And the very most interesting part that really affected my life, and when I started reflecting on it during a certain period on my life, is how our body types cope with stress. At some point in my life, I put on some weight, and I was not living in Egypt. I was living in the UAE, and I'm not a food person. I don't eat that much. And I started being on diet and following up myself with a nutrition or with a nutritionist, but it did not work out. I found that I was not myself, and I decided to fly back to Egypt because there is something that I miss. And if I reach that thing, then I will go back to my nature, which and start losing weight and so on. So when I flew back, that was the best and the happiest moment in my life. I believed in the quote that says, home is where the heart is. So when I flew back and I started to see my friends more, I started to work more, I started to be among my family more, I felt very comfortable and relaxed. And I started to look into my body and say, what is causing me all that overweight, or what makes me gain weight while I don't eat that much? Then I came across that chapter, or that very special part of the body type and stress, and started looking into my body and understanding it and relating what I read to the type of my body. Well, interestingly, he looked into 3 different body types and how they cope with stress. And he said that when a woman's fat burning capacity is disrupted by stress, her body type affects how she reacts. And he divided the body into 3 main types, including endomorph, mesomorph, and the ectomorph. And he said those who are endomorphs, or an endomorph lady, her body tends to be round in shape, and she will have more energy than most women, but her body will begin to store extra fat in unwanted areas. And when she's stressed, she will gain more weight and she will store extra fat. An endomorph feels too many people need her, and gradually she becomes more exhausted. The other type is mesomorph. If she this woman has got more muscular body, and she will store some extra fat in her muscles, and she will run out of energy when stressed. Without the abundance of the oxytocin, which is the love hormone, doing something that you love, her stress levels rise, and she feels there is too much to get done. The third is the ectomorph. If a woman is very lean with less fat and muscle than others, without an abundance of oxytocin, she will experience increased feelings of anxiety or worry. An ectomorph had too much to worry about. I found out that my type is a mesomorph, and I found that when I don't do the things that I love, when I am not around the people I love, I create so much fat or extra fat in my muscles, and I run out of energy if I'm stressed, or if I'm under stress, or if I am sad, and if I'm not feeling well. So I started working on this, and when I understood myself and my body, I started to work on and go to the gym. I started training on daily basis, and surprisingly, in 3 months, I bought the first dress that is 2 sizes smaller than the size I used to wear. I used to wear size 16, and I bought the first dress at size 12. And that was very, very encouraging to me. And I dedicate that change to a person who affected my life very, very, very positively, and I owe him much about supporting me, helping me, encouraging me, and helping me working not only on myself but discovering new potentials in my life. And I started to love what I do. So in my experience, most of us women will experience gain weight at some point. We always experience some loss of energy, and we have this overwhelming feeling that our bodies are not in shape. I relate that to not producing enough oxytocin, which is the love hormone. And I encourage every woman to think of doing some activities that would sustain and help her improve producing such a hormone, like going out with friends, doing yoga, meditation, swimming, eating with some lovely bunch of people. And you need to understand that the body type tends to determine to what extent you will experience the consequences. And at the same time, I would see that the real reason women are usually tired and stressed today, it's not because they have a lot on their list or a lot on their plates to do, but it's because they're not producing that much of that love hormone to keep with stress. So thanks to that very short excerpt that helped me to understand my body, who I am, and thanks to the help of my trainers in the gym, I hope they are listening to me now, and thanks to that very special person who is not watching us today, but I owe him much, and I do owe him the deepest love and respect for the changes that happened to me. Thank you guys, that was really awesome.
Hannah, you are muted.
Sorry, I was just saying, okay, bravo, Ola, good job. And Ahmed Chalabi from Writing 6 says, total makeover, Ola. So good for you.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Outstanding. Everyone is saying inspiring and outstanding indeed. Just to alert everybody, it's 15 minutes past the hour, and still we got 3 speakers, 3 very important speakers. Do we mind here our star speakers if we stick together, so we listen to Mr. Samir Amara, Ms. Abir, and our dear Salma Al-Faqi? Are you okay with that? All right, but they promise us to be very short and to the point. Thank you very much. All right, so Mr. Samir, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much and pleased to be part of this very nice event. So can you help me share my screen, please?
Now you can.
Thank you so much. When I get the idea of the event, I thought of different many resources I would like to share, but I had a hard copy of this nice book. It's 21st Century Reading. This is part of a series of books, 4 series of books. This is book 4 of this series. It's not a book written by authors like other books, but it's a collection of some TED Talks related to education. So the key message of these 4 series and this book is how we develop our education and how we impact on our students, on our teachers, and how we could help them develop. So the excerpt I'm going to share is from book 4 of this series. It's printed in the United States in 2016, and the quote is for one of the German educators, Diana Loeffenberg. The quote or the content of the quote is not new, but it's a reflection on the quote by Thomas Edison, the famous inventor. Thomas Edison once said that he hasn't failed, but he has just found 10,000 ways that won't work out. So Diana in 2016 gave a TED talk called How to Learn from Mistakes. She thought that this quote of Thomas Edison applied to education. When I heard the talk or listened to the talk, and when I read the article in the hard copy, I think that it doesn't apply to education only. It also applies to all our life, to all aspects of our life, because there are not mistakes, but there are ways that won't work. We try something, we try to do our best. As Dr. Dina said from the very beginning, and then Dr. Heba said, there are weaknesses, there are mistakes, and what we need to do is to accept or to embrace our mistakes and learn that not all mistakes do mean the end of the world. There are mistakes, there are weaknesses, we learn from them. This happens or applies for education, this happens or applies to our life, to different aspects of life. And I would confess that at a very early stage of my career as a teacher trainer, or someone who works for community service in the education field, I was not completely tolerant with mistakes I myself did and others did, because I always look for perfection, and I have learned so far that perfection is something we try to get, but it is something we do our best to get, but it's not always the case that we get perfection, but we try. When we do mistakes, this is something normal, this is something natural. We do learn from our mistakes, and there are lots and lots of lessons learned from our mistakes. We need to accept this rule to our education system. We need to accept this for our own professional development journey as teachers, educators, instructors, and community service persons, and we need to help our students learn from their mistakes, and not to deal with mistakes as if this is the end of the world. No, mistakes are something which we learn from. So this is why I have chosen this quote, and this is what I would like to share, and I would like to help all people accept their mistakes, accept others' mistakes, and help all people around them to learn from their own mistakes. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the case to have mistakes. When we teach, we have mistakes. When we do community service, we have mistakes. When we do teacher training and mentoring, we have mistakes. What we need to do is how to maximize the lessons learned from our mistakes, how to accept our weaknesses, how to accept our mistakes, how to them, and how to build our capacities and the capacities of others. This is what we need to do for ourselves and for the others. It's not always the case to win all the cases, to win all the battles, and
Now you're back, Mr. Samir. You were muted.
You're back.
Yeah.
yes, okay. Can I share again? Yes. Is it okay?
Yes, now it's ready. Yes.
Is it okay? Yes. So the core of this quote by Diana Laufenberg in the book of 21st Century Reading, which is a collection of some TED Talks about education, is that it's something normal that we have mistakes. There is no failure, but there are ways that won't work. This applies for education and applies for our life as well. We need to accept our weaknesses. We need to accept our failure. We need to take failure as lessons learned, not as something that the world has come to an end. We need to accept our mistakes. We need to be tolerant with our mistakes, with others' mistakes, and we need to help ourselves and others to learn from these mistakes, from these weaknesses, and not to judge people by some failures. Failure is something natural, and we need to build upon or to develop these mistakes into more learning opportunities. That's it. Thank you so much.
That was really inspiring, Mr. Samir. Thank you for sharing that professional series. I'm sure so many will be interested in looking this one up. By the way, all the book covers, yeah, please. All these book covers are already posted, okay, on Facebook, on our group, Virtual PD Events. I already shared a link, so please refer back to the link so you can download all the book covers if you are interested in finding more information about them. Thank you. Time to listen to Abir.
Yes, hello everybody.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Hannah. Thank you everybody for giving me the chance to be with you. So my book is Edward de Bono, Sick Thinking Hats, published in 1985. In fact, I came across this book during my course in the UC First Manager Success Camp. So it's about how to deal with the staff or with your group in a meeting. So if I give you just a piece of information about the author. So Dr. Edward de Bono was born in Malta in 1933, and he had his PhD in medicine and psychology. He awarded a lot of awards. He had a lot of books, such as Lateral Thinking, Parallel Thinking, and Six Thinking Hacks. This book provides a method for effective team meetings, solving, decision-making, proposals, and evaluation, and can be used in business, schools, and families for resolving issues and making decisions. So the main idea is that there are 6 different color imaginary hats that you can put on and or take off. Color of hat identifies the type or direction of thinking. So the white hat or the information hat, we wear the white hat when we need to think neutrally and objectively, relying on information, while beliefs and arguments should be put aside. We wear the red hat when we need to reveal emotions or feelings that influence thinking without explanation. We wear the black hat when we are cautious and careful, use critical thinking, separate emotions, and think negatively and ask, what's wrong with it? Or what are the points of weaknesses? The green hat thinking, green is the symbol of fertility, seeds, and plantation. So we wear it to show creativity new alternatives and new approaches to problems. Po is a word invented by Bono to have a playful way to say unusual and provocative things. By wearing the green hat, we make a deliberate effort to actually look for generating and provoking new ideas. The yellow hat. Thought of yellow hat is positive and constructive. The yellow color symbolizes the brightness of the sun and optimism. Thought of yellow hat takes care of the positive evaluation of the same one way that thought of black hat takes care of negative evaluation. The thought of yellow hat presents proposals and existing suggestions. The blue hat. The blue color is the symbol of panoramic control, like the sky that includes everything. The blue one also suggests spacing, tranquility, and self-control. It's for organizing and controlling the thinking process so that it becomes more productive. Computers, as Bono said, have software that says to them what to do constantly. Without software, the computer cannot work. So the blue hat is that software of thought. The most important part of the book, which really affects me, is the sequence of using the hats. So if you have a meeting with your team or your group, you can take off and put on this hat, but in a special sequence. So at the beginning, you put on the blue hat. So to define the problem, introduce the topic, give background to the thinking, and define the purpose of the meeting. Then you take it off and put on the red hat to show feelings towards the issue that affect thinking. Normally, when one talks about the feelings and opinions, he encourages others to talk about theirs, so he knows how their opinions are constituted. Then wear the white hat to deal with facts regarding this issue and gather information. Then we wear the yellow hat to offer proposals and find which are preferable, explore the positive sides, and probe for value and benefit. Then we put on the black hat to direct the group to the challenges we may face, like considering relations, cost, materials, safety issues, and so on. Then we put on the green hat to share offers of help, solutions, alternatives, and new concepts. Wear the red hat, again, once more, to find how we feel now after the discussion. And again, we finally put on the blue hat to define what we agreed upon and to find out the next steps. So this putting on and taking off is essential. It allows you to switch from one type of thinking to another. The principle behind the 6 thinking hats is parallel thinking, which ensures that all people in the meeting are focused on and thinking about the same subject and at the same time. So the book really helped me when conducting my team. It reshaped my way of thinking. It helped me to find solutions quickly in an organized way. I can also remember some quotes from the book, like if we act as a thinker, you become one. We may have a perfectly adequate way of doing something, but that does not mean there cannot be a better way. Okay, so that's my book. So I hope you enjoy it and get a benefit out of it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Abir. That was real interesting to share using the 6 hats technique in a meeting. We got to really try that in real life meetings, see how it works. We're not really sure. Yeah, it can backfire. I'm going to keep that till the end. Thank you for now. And let's listen now to Salma Al-Fai's book and quote. Yeah, Selma?
Thank you. Okay, so I have chosen The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. the book is a life-changing experience to anybody who reads it. It impacted me on the way it redirected my focus on the present moment, as especially that I was always imprisoned within my brain and my thought and my overthinking, over planning, and the ultimate need for overachieving, as my close people say. And they name it this. They tell me that I have a nature of overachieving. That's what I feed on. And I liked about the book the most the way it displays the ideas in Q&As. So you have the question that is exactly in your mind, and then right beneath it, you can find the answer to it. I put actually the points that it helped, the book helped me in some points. I put them like in bullet show, so that they are easy to get through. I chose the part of surrender because, again, I feel like I relate to what you all said about the acceptance and then over perfectionism, as Mr. Samir said. I think all of the quotes and the things that we have chosen from our books lead to the same purpose. The book helped me to zoom out a little bit and get my focus to make the best of every present moment, this very moment. It also gradually listen, then overcome, helped me gradually listen, then overcome the writer's block thinking. I write poetry, so I experience sometimes writer's block. And while I learn how to be focused on this very moment, it helped me through one of the Zen techniques to use my writer block correctly or usefully. It also helped me develop the art of acceptance, that sometimes I won't be able to overachieve things and I have to accept that. And then it helped me break down my targets into chunks and later targets so that it can be easily achieved more than the huge ones. So I do not have to be the excellent person of this year. I can be a very good, and I can accept that. I'd like to invite you all, those who have not read the book, to give it a look. And it's a very nice, and it's not so long book. I'd like those who already did to share their thoughts with me about it. If you would like, I will directly go to the part, because I know we are out of time. So I will directly go to the code that I would like to share with you. In the part of surrender, this is page, I think, 206. For those who have the book, it says, surrender is a purely inner phenomenon. It doesn't mean that on the outer level, you cannot take action and change the situation. In fact, it is not the overall situation that you need to accept when you surrender, but just the tiny segment called the now. One of the parts of the book that I strongly recall was when you feel the water while you are washing your hands, for example, feel the water in your hands and think of the sound of it. Try to zoom out of your deep thoughts that take you everywhere but to this very moment. And it was very nice when you are now here and you're thinking about, oh, I have a lot to do today, so I'm gonna finish my class quickly. It takes from your focus, and actually by application and practice makes perfect. So by some kind of practice, I think I became a better person, at least in this part. Thank you so much. It was very a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, my dear Salma, really. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, now it's time.
Okay. Any questions? I can see questions. They were all just lovely comments, very kind words from everyone to the speakers. But I would like to thank you, Annette, for bringing all the lovely speakers together, because it's a good chance to get to know others. And I think this is something that if we do in class as well, there is a quote that says, in quoting others, we cite ourselves. And this was the story behind each quote that all our speakers here shared. why this quote inspired them and why it means something for them. So we tell our story through the quotes that we choose. So this is also something that we can do, like in class and in whatever we do in life, like because quotes represent or touches something inside us, or that tells something about our stories. So I think that what made that night very, very special. So thank you for it. Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate your words, Ayat. That was my sincere hope. Yeah, I mean, each and every one of those people here. Yeah, I just wanted that person to come to light here, not just professionally speaking. It's that human side that makes them
Right.
stand
Yeah.
out. And I'm glad that we've come together. That's our first try. I'm sure we can do more with that if we try that once again. We got
Definitely.
audience here who have been waiting for some time. We got Hene Sudan, who made it at long last. She was busy doing something. Hene, would you like
I think
to?
she's not here now.
She's
I
not.
think
Oh,
she's not.
maybe, yeah, she was busy. Any of the audience members would like to use the microphone, address any of the speakers, mention any particular book that really is most preferable to them? Anybody? Just raise a hand. We have a hand raised somewhere, I hope. Or, I mean, is there a hand to raise in the first place? There should be, right? I'm not sure. It should be there. I can't see the hand, but
I
can
guess
you?
Ola has a hand.
Yes, is it? Ah, yes, yes. Ola, okay. I'm asking you to unmute Yaul.
I did.
Okay.
Well, all your speeches were very inspiring, guys. And as I said before, it was not planned what we were going to talk about, but in a way or another, it's all connected and linked together. Thank you, Hannah, for bringing us all together tonight. That was a really, really, really interesting event. And I hope that we can repeat something like this. I mean, just more excerpts, more books, more speakers. And it helped us to go back to the books and to refresh our memories and link whatever everybody is saying to our lives. Thank you very much, Hannah, for this lovely night. Ayat, you are of great help. My colleagues and fellow educators, thank you so much. It was really lovely to see each and every single person of you tonight. I really miss you a lot. We haven't met since NileTESOL. I mean, the last greatest events, and I hope that we will meeting face to face very soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Thank you for the kind words, Ola. Thank you for participating today.
My greetings to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Any final words, any closing comments here from our speakers?
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mustafa, really. Really, thank you for joining us. I'm really so glad you made it. Anybody else would like to make a final comment?
I would like to say it was really, I feel really little within you, within your company, and I enjoy having such an opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Anay, so much. I'm really grateful for you, and I really like being here so much, and I'm looking forward to what's ahead, inshallah. I really enjoy the coffee night, especially from all the events. It's my favorite. I love it so much. Thank you so much.
You never miss a coffee night, Selma.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah, I remember that.
I like
so
it so
loyal to coffee nights.
Yeah, I am.
Anybody would like to make any closing final comments? Anybody from our guest speakers? Abir. Yes. Oh, Abir, maybe unmute. Yes.
Yep.
Still, yes. Yes, I'd like to thank you so much and thank all the attendees. It's really very inspiring. Night after night, we are really waiting for Wednesday just to see you, Dr. Hannah, just to enjoy your inspiration, your ideas. Every Wednesday, you have a new breakout. Okay, so we really like that day because you made us like it so much. That's
Appreciate
really,
it.
yes,
Appreciate it.
I thank you. I also would like to agree totally with Dr. Ola for a point of view. Yes, it actually happens to me. Yes, whenever I'm stressed, so I go and eating. I don't mind, or I don't think what I was doing. Then I stop for a second and I remember, oh, what is that? Yes. So actually, we psychologically. Women in general are psychologically affected when there is a problem. So we are totally affected, and that affects our way of life. We are very sensitive indeed.
And we do have sensitive men, by the way. They are affected too. They
Yeah.
feel, they do
Yeah.
feel. I can attest to that.
Yeah,
And we have two very sensitive gentlemen in this room.
Yeah, who have been inspiring us with the talk.
Yeah.
Well, yes, come
Appreciate it. To address Ahmed Chalabi's question, when do we meet, or when the next time would be? You know, we meet every Wednesday, okay, for one of our PD committee events, okay? We have a rough kind of schedule. The coffee nights are like every other Wednesday. It's like, you know, every 2 weeks. In between, we have like a combination, a debate one time, charades. Okay, the charades thing. Don't you love the charades thing?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was something out of the world, really.
Have a crew now.
We have a crew, and we've realized we're not supposed to be teachers, really. I mean, yeah, we've wasted so many years in teaching for nothing.
Doesn't pay.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, why bother and prepare lesson plans and stuff when we belong somewhere else? So charades, debates, and I think that's about it for now. So next week there will be a debate to be announced. So that we promise. Any further comments from our guest speakers? Miriam, I can't thank you enough. Finally, we get to have you. We get to meet you after so many, you know, months, okay, of not seeing you. Thank you for joining us. Dr. Dina Dakhs again, thank you. By the way, Dr. Dina invited me to a poetry night at All Lab, the Applied Linguistics Lab in Saudi. So I read, funnily enough, I read out a poem, which is like, this is not me, but she made
What's
me
for
do
you?
it.
That's like, another talent.
Well, it's not a matter, it's like, you know, people sort of like discover things about you. So yeah, it's in the eyes of others. That
another talent,
sort of
apart from acting, that's another talent.
But acting is the thing. Trust me, yeah. And there is dancing. It's the thing. Okay, Ola, that's your thing. So there is acting, dancing, and very soon we're going to open our singing club. So just stay tuned. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for staying on. Hope you, well, that was worth your night. Thank you very much. This is, today's date is, what's today's date?
Thank you, Ayat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Wednesday, the 8th of July. Now it is 9:45 Cairo time, NileTESOL PD committee event, Coffee Night 3. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, you take care.